Hi, and welcome. You're listening to the X22 Report. My name is Dave, and this is episode 1550B, and today's date is April 21st, 2018, and the title of the episode is Cornered, No Way Out, the Trump Card is About to be Played. Now, before I get started, I just want to make an announcement. I uploaded two interviews. One was on Thursday night, the other one is Saturday morning. The first one I interviewed was with Jordan Sather, and the other one is with Phil Sloan. They're both on the X22 Report Spotlight YouTube channel. So all you need to do is go over to YouTube, type in X22 Report Spotlight. It'll bring you right to the interview, or come over to the X22report.com or newssentinel.com. Scroll down a little bit, look over to your right-hand side. You can play the video right on the site, or go to Steemit, that's steemit.com/@X22Report, and you can play the interviews right on Steemit. Let's get into the economic collapse, political and geopolitical news. Now, it looks like the deep state, they are taking everything to the next level. And the reason why they are doing this, because everything that they've tried to push the Russian collusion story to get Trump out of office, it has not been working. And this is what desperate people do. They resort to other methods. Now, it could be a false flag, which I do believe they're going to try again. They've tried it in Syria. We had mass shootings, and they're continually trying to push anything they possibly can. And I think one of the last attempts will be the event of all events. So what they're doing now is they're going to sue Russia, Trump, Wikileaks for conspiring to hurt Hillary in the 2016 election. And this is coming from the DNC, the Democratic National Committee. They filed a multi-million-dollar lawsuit on Friday against the Russian government, the Trump campaign, and Wikileaks. And they are alleging that there was a conspiracy to disrupt the 2016 election. Now, the lawsuit alleges that in addition to the Russian Federation, the General Staff of the Armed Forces of the Russian Federation, Wikileaks, and Guccifer 2.0, top Trump campaign officials, including Trump, Trump Jr., Roger Stone, Jared Kushner, Paul Manafort, and pretty much everyone else, just throw everyone else in there, that they've conspired with Russian government and its military spy agency to hurt Democratic presidential nominee Hillary Clinton and help Trump by hacking the computer networks of the DNC. Now, think about this for a second. They're saying that Trump, Russia, and all these individuals were in it together, and they hacked into the DNC computer systems. And they're suing all of them over this. Now, Q came out with post 1188. Engineers, data mine NP, +1, +5, all architects, build profile, 1XD times 7, all eyes only. Now, this might be referring to the A1 brothers. The NS data mined everyone, created profiles on them, all of them, and then blackmailed them. Now, the CIA front companies were being used by the A1s to funnel money to Hezbollah in Pakistan, with implicit support of the blackmailed politician. And again, this is treason. Now, Q came out with post 1200, and Q said coincidence. Amazing. They are literally opening the door for you to drop all the information as evidence in a court of law. Where we go one, we go all. They fall for it every time. How do you, quotes, legally ... Q. Post 1201, Trump card coming. Q. Now, think about what is happening here. Nothing worked out for the deep state, and they're trying to sue Russia, Trump, Wikileaks, and all of them to get them for what they've done. Now, because they are suing, it allows Trump to countersue, and it allows Trump and his legal team, and most likely Wikileaks and the rest, to take a look at their servers and order their servers. Remember, no one has looked at this except for CrowdStrike. The FBI didn't, the police didn't, no one looked at this. So Trump is going ahead, he's countering this lawsuit, and when we look at this, we can see that the DNC, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, Clinton, and the rest, they're going to be in trouble. Actually, if you really look at this, the DNC, they have exposed themselves to an aggressive discovery phase because their case holds no water, according to Law and Crime. Here's the problem. Several pages of quotes and factual allegations in the beginning of the document are wholly uncited, at least in that section of the document. Another section of the document, General Allegations, does cite information through footnotes, some 107 of them. However, the records cited are almost exclusively news reports from the deep state news outlets, from sources such as The New Republic, The New York Times, ABC, CNN, Politico, Washington Post, Fox News, Business Insider, Slate, and other media outlets. Ferreting out exactly what was reported by those outlets is not difficult. The DNC's lawsuit shoves that ultimately is fourth-hand information to a federal judge to be taken as fact in support of this conclusion. Through these communications, the Trump campaign, Trump's closest advisor, and Russian agents formed an agreement to promote Trump's candidacy through illegal means. Now, all of their proof is through the corporate media. Now, they're going to go to the corporate media and say, let's see the facts. And guess what they have? Propaganda. So all of this is going to come down around them. Actually, the DNC, they just created the rope to hang themselves. Wikileaks is out there saying, guess what? This discovery phase is going to be amazing. Because look what they open themselves up for. They're going to ask for everything. The servers, their emails, the information, because they're allowed to do this. Did Trump just play the Trump card right now? Because it's starting to look like that. McCabe right now is out there saying the Inspector General is a joke. There's no way that they're going to get me. I'm not going to be prosecuted. You know why? Because most likely he's going to get immunity. He's going to spill everything. I think that's where he's headed right now. Now, on the Uranium One deal, there are huge facts that the mainstream media has already confirmed for everyone. Let's go through some of these. First, Hillary Clinton claimed on Monday that the Uranium One scandal was completely debunked. And they always say this, well, it's all debunked, and they put it out in the corporate media, and everyone goes, see, it's all debunked. It's nothing to look at. But when we look at it, we see something very different. Confirmed. The former head of Russia's uranium company, Ian Telfer, made 4 hidden donations to the Clinton Foundation totaling $2.35 million. As the Russians gradually assumed control of Uranium One in 3 separate transactions from 2009 to 2013, Canadian records show a flow of cash made its way to the Clinton Foundation. Uranium One's chairman used his family foundation to make 4 donations totaling $2.35 million. Those contributions were not publicly disclosed by the Clintons, despite an agreement Mrs. Clinton had struck with Obama White House to publicly identify all donors. Other people with ties to the company made donations as well. Number 2, confirmed. Bill Clinton bagged a $500,000 speech in Moscow paid by the Kremlin-backed bank. Bill Clinton received $500,000 for Moscow speech paid for by the Russian investment bank that had ties to the Kremlin. Why was Bill Clinton taking any money from a bank linked to the Kremlin while his wife was Secretary of State? Number 3, confirmed. Despite claims to the contrary, Uranium One has in fact exported yellow cake out of America and is routinely packed into drums and trucked off to a processing plant in Canada. The commission confirmed that Uranium One has in fact shipped yellow cake to Canada. Number 5, confirmed. Clinton Foundation megadonor Frank Holmes claimed he sold Uranium One before Hillary Clinton's State Department approved the Russian transfer, but his company owns SEC filings prove otherwise. 6, confirmed. While 8 other agencies had to sign off on approving the transfer of 20% of all U.S. uranium to Russia, Hillary Clinton's State Department was the only government agency headed by an official, Hillary Clinton, whose family foundation received $145 million from foreign investors involving the uranium deal. 9 foreign investors in the uranium deal flowed a combined $145 million to Hillary Clinton's family foundation. None of the remaining 8 agencies heads who approved the uranium transfer received foreign donations to their family charities. 7. FBI agents already have an eyewitness and documents to support the most explosive parts of the Uranium One story. And we could see right now that all of this is being confirmed. There's an investigation going on. And again, all these probes, the investigation, the criminality of all these people, they are cornered right now. They don't know what to do. Now, out in North Korea, we can see North Korea no longer demands U.S. troops to be removed from South Korea. They're also saying that they have no problem denuclearizing their country. And they're saying that we're not going to fire missiles. We're not going to have nuclear tests. And it looks like the peace talks completely worked. The deep state, the cabal that was inside North Korea, pushing this agenda, no longer has power. Very interesting. But something else came up with all of this. This is post 1184 from Q, saying, big error. Pelosi admits travel to North Korea in the past. Archive everything immediately. They have tried to cover this. Why is this relevant? These people are going to lose everything. Now, Pelosi said her concerns about the North's proliferation deepened after a trip to the North many years ago. She said, when we went to North Korea, we talked about missiles. We talked about MIAs and POWs. We talked about home. We talked about a number of subjects, but about the missiles, because the development of missiles was a national security issue of concern, Pelosi said. They said, look, we just make these to sell. You want to buy them? We'll sell them to you, she said. Pelosi listed between $42.4 million and $199.5 million in assets in 2013, which was enough to make her the richest member of House leadership from either party. Pelosi is getting caught up in selling missiles technology to North Korea, and she made hundreds of millions of dollars from these sales. So this is going to be something that's going to be brought out into the open, just like everything else. We also see Iran is out there, and this is coming from the vice commander of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard, saying that they have warned Israel that their air bases are within reach, that we're ready to fire missiles at Israel. Now, this is very interesting because it sounds exactly like North Korea, where Kim Jong-un comes out and says, we're going to fire missiles at the United States. We're going to destroy the United States because they want the United States, Israel, and the rest to go into these countries to start the war. This is what's happening with Iran right now, because the deep state, the cabal, is within Iran, and these publications that are coming out mostly are propaganda to push a war. This is why Q in post 1146 said Iran is next after North Korea. North Korea was taken care of. Next, we'll be moving into Iran to rout these individuals out. And of course, post 1146 says Iran next, trust the plan, April showers. And again, they bring May flowers. So we can see with the scandals around the DNC, the scandals around the deep state, Clinton, Obama, and the rest, well, we might see May flowers coming very, very soon. The U.S. right now is reviewing the funding aimed at helping war-ravaged Syria rebuild. And I believe this funding has to do with the white helmets, where this has been cut off. People are asking questions, are we still funding the white helmets? And I believe this is going to be the last part where they cut all the funding to the white helmet, just like they cut the funding to the moderate rebels, to the Kurds army, to the training programs and everything else. And now, I believe with what is going on with this freeze of $200 million earmarked for the recovery of Syria, this is going to stop what the White Helmets are doing. Even though they're saying, oh no, the White Helmets are doing a great job, this is the cover to stop the funding, to stop everything in Syria. Russia says right now that they will be selling the S-300 to Syria because what has happened with America, with France, I should say the deep state, France, the UK, their airstrikes on Syria, and Russia, they decided to stop all sales of the S-300 to Syria after Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu met with Putin. They said, okay, we won't sell the missiles. We get it. Now, after what has happened here, the S-300 sale is still on because guess what? Israel, the United States, the deep state, I should say, France, the UK, they've crossed the red line, and now Syria is getting the S-300 missile systems. Now, there's a lot more information coming out of Syria in the area of Douma. As the terrorists are being removed from this entire area, we can see that there's a huge weapons cache that they found in this area in large storage areas, and there's many different weapons made from all different areas. We can also see that the OPCW investigation, they're having a very difficult time getting into Douma, and the question is, why are they having a very difficult time getting in there? Now, of course, the deep state is saying, oh, it's Russia, they're keeping them from coming in. Syria, they're keeping them from coming in. And again, Russia and Syria saying, why would we keep them out of this area? We invited the OPCW in, we want them to look at it, and we're protecting the area. Now, what's very interesting is that there were gunshots, and the OPCW said, listen, we can't go in there. And we need to look a little bit closer on who is organizing the OPCW from the UN. And this is an Australian police officer, leader of the UNDSS. This individual, Peter Drennan, is holding up the investigation. Now, from 2009, he served as Deputy Commissioner of National Security with the Australian Federal Police. And critics are saying that Drennan may be preventing the OPCW investigation in order to protect the UK and the deep state. So this way, the OPCW can't find anything, they can't get in there. Now, what's very interesting is that journalists are running around this whole Douma area, filming, looking at everything, talking to people, talking to doctors, and they're saying no one's firing on them. The only gunshots are at the OPCW, and they're the ones who can't get in there. But journalists are running around like crazy, like Robert Fisk, Pearson Sharp, and others who are saying that there have been no chemical attacks in this area whatsoever. Now, the deep state is putting out the propaganda that Russia sanitized the entire area and there's no evidence left there. This is their cover-up story to say there a chemical attack happened, but Russia cleaned it all up, so we can't find anything there. Now, how can they be saying this if the OPCW isn't inspecting yet? It makes no sense. And Russia and Syria, they guarded the entire area. They already investigated by talking to certain doctors, and reporters have been running around in there, and they're not reporting that Russia's doing anything in there. So again, this is one gigantic propaganda hoax to try to convince everyone that Russia cleaned up the area, and this is why they're not going to find any evidence. But again, it's already been out there. We know that this was a complete hoax, and even if they sanitized the area like they're saying, which it never happened, all you have to do is speak to the doctors. All you have to say, where are the bodies? What doctors actually saw these individuals? I mean, there's other ways to prove this. And this is what the deep state is not getting, is that people are going to continually ask questions. They're reporters on the ground. They're watching everything that goes on there. Now, Q has come out with post 1186, and the post says, the importance of this cannot be expressed more clearly. Archive offline immediately. Offline only. Future events. Intel trip to North Korea will make heads roll. Pompeo, most senior official to visit North Korea since. Future proves past. Now, I think what's going to happen, and I had this interview with Jordan Sather, and he does believe that the internet and other things will come down for a little bit. And now this will either be used to basically go after those criminals, or the deep state will bring it down to basically shut any type of investigation, shut everyone out of everything. And I believe this is why Q is saying offline everything so you always have a record, because when they bring something down like this, they're not going to keep it down. They'll say it's a glitch, and they'll say, oh, we're having problems in these areas, and they will go in and wipe a lot of this information off the net and then bring the net back up and say, where's the proof? We don't see anything out there. There's nothing out there. All the news stories and everything that had to do with all this is completely gone. This is why all of this needs to be archived offline. Even the Wayback Machine and everything like that, they'll just go in with their malware and they'll hit all these areas. They'll say it's a huge cyber attack. The internet was brought down. These things are wiped off. They'll bring it back up and everything will be gone. And I think this is why Q is continually warning everyone to archive everything offline, because as we get closer and closer to bringing down the deep state, they're going to become more and more desperate, and they're going to push these events to try to cover their tracks, to cover the paper trails that implicates certain individuals like Pelosi, like Clinton, like Debbie Wasserman Schultz, like McCabe, like Comey, like Obama. And Q is dropping intel like crazy, and we can see right now that they are cornered, they're afraid, and they're doing whatever they possibly can. And I think eventually what's going to happen is they're going to push the event of all events. Listen, everyone, thanks a lot for listening. Be well, be safe, and especially be prepared. Thanks a lot.